All right, so can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this will be only short, maybe more or less 10 minutes. So your laboratory number 7 is a clipper circuit. So maybe some of you already know this one because we have already discussed this one actually at the very end of our before the midterm exam. Okay, so clipper clips a portion of the waveform. So it could be a waveform from the top or a waveform from the bottom. Okay, so the objectives of this laboratory is to understand the operation of a clipper circuit. Second is to understand the types of a clipper circuit because we have a lot of types under a clipper circuit. And then to construct the foregrip of different kinds of clipper circuit. Okay, so I put here a short discussion. Okay. So a clipper is a circuit designed to prevent a signal from exceeding a predetermined reference voltage level. Okay. A clipper does not distort the remaining part of the applied waveform. So clipping circuits are used to select for purposes of transmission that part of a signal waveform which lies above or below the predetermined reference voltage level. Okay, so let's say your maximum voltage for the positive side is 5 volts, then it will clip the remaining, let's say 5 volts onwards. Okay, or on the bottom, so it could clip negative 5 onwards up the negative half cycle. So depending on your circuit. So clipping may be achieved either at one level or two levels. So a clipper circuit can remove certain portions of an arbitrary waveform near the positive or negative peaks or both. Okay. So if it clips the positive side, we call that one a positive clipper. If it clips the negative side, we call that one a negative clipper. And if it clip both sides, the positive and negative, we call that one dual or the combination clipper. Okay. So a clipping circuit consists of linear elements like resistors, and for nonlinear elements like diodes or transistors, but it does not contain energy storage elements like capacitor. Okay, so we have here the dual, okay, clipper wherein it will clip the positive and then the negative side. So this is already a bonus for you because this is part of your laboratory number 7. So this one is a dual clipper wherein it will clip the positive side and then it will also clip the negative side. So I call this one a dual clipper. Okay. So to give you more ideas about clippers, okay, you can ask for notes of your classmates who has a copy of my notes. So just to give you a brief idea how many types of clippers we have. So we have a series positive clipper wherein it clips the positive side, series negative clipper wherein it clips the negative side, and then shunt or parallel clipper wherein the same, it actually clips the positive or negative, so depending on your circuit. And then also we have the shunt or parallel positive negative, and then the dual clipper. So under series positive clipper, we have two. Okay, we have the series positive clipper with positive bias, and then series positive clipper with negative bias. So the same with series negative clipper, we have two types. So series negative clipper with positive bias, and then series negative clipper with negative bias. So for this laboratory number 7, okay, I only include, okay, those two. Yeah, those two and then this one. Okay, I didn't include the parallel connection anymore. Okay, because it will give you so much time to do all of the kinds of or all of the types of clippers. So I only gave the basics, which is a series positive clipper with biases, and then series negative clipper with biases. Okay, so for procedure number 1, so using the LTS 517, create a positive clipper with positive bias. So what is this positive bias? So let me just show to you this one. Wait, this positive, yeah, positive clipper with bias. So we have here a positive bias and then a negative bias. So for positive clipper with bias, so as you can see, the polarity of the bias voltage is like this. So plus and then minus. Okay. And then for negative bias, so everything is the same. It's just that the polarity of your bias voltage is negative first and then positive, or followed by the positive. Okay. So this is for the series positive clipper with biases. Okay. And then for negative, okay, so this one is the positive clipper with positive bias, and then this one is the positive clipper with negative bias. And then for negative, so we have the same. It's just that this one will clip the negative side. So we call this one negative clipper with positive bias, and then negative clipper with negative bias. So that's for 3 and 4. So what are those negative clipper with biases? So let's find it. Series positive clipper. There you go. So this is a series negative clipper with bias. So this is a negative clipper which is positive bias. So again, check this one. We have the positive and negative. So that's the arrangement. And then for negative bias, it's negative and then positive. That's the arrangement. And then take a look on this one. So the polarity of our diode is positive and negative, positive and negative. This is for series negative clipper. And for the positive, it's just the opposite of it. Yeah. So we're going to take a look at this one. This one is negative and then positive, and then negative and then positive. So basically, they are the same. All you have to do is flip the diode, okay, and then flip the bias voltage depending on the question, okay. So now you already have the idea on how to create this one and how to put this one on the LT spice. Now it is up to you what voltage input you're going to put. So that's your task now to experiment what is your voltage input. Uh, of course, you're going to use a silicon diode, okay, because I indicate here that you're going to use a silicon diode. Then what will be your resistor? What will be your bias voltage? As long as it will output the this one, the expected result. So if it's positive clipper with bias or with positive bias, you should get this one, okay? And then for positive clipper with negative bias, you should have this kind of waveform, right? So that's your goal to finish. Okay. So the same with negative clipper with bias. Okay. And then the last one is the clipper dual diode clipper. A dual diode clipper. Clipper diode dual clipper. Dual diode clipper. Okay, wherein it will clips the positive and negative side. All right. So it will clip both sides. So how does it look like? So let's find for that waveform. Right. So your waveform will become like this or like this in the example. Okay. So this one is already a dual clipper wherein it can clip the positive cycle and then the negative cycle. Okay. So yeah, this one is actually like a bonus already. All right. And then after those 5 procedures, so what are your conclusions from those steps that you have finished? So basically, that's the laboratory number 7. Did you guys get it so far? So for
Yes,
sure,
sir.
all right. So for sure to those who is enrolled in my lecture, so they already know what to do, okay? And then to those who are not enrolled with my lecture subject, so feel free to ask them, okay, how does it look like, why it should be like this, and so on and so forth. Or you can just simply ask my notes and then yeah, they can give it to you, okay? So yeah, that's it for laboratory number 7. Do you guys have a question or clarification so far? Answer coming from Mr. Eda. So yeah, Mr. Eda and Miss Dapiawan is enrolled in my lecture. So yeah. And then also Mr. Racer is also enrolled in my lecture. So those are the people who will be able to, do this one real quick because they already know what to do. All right, so to those who doesn't have a question, so you may now leave and then happy lunch to you. And to those who has a question or clarification, so you may still stay here and then yeah, we can talk for around 30 minutes since we still have 30 minutes. But if you don't have a question anymore, so you may now leave and goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye.